bad things, fine as hell, thick as fuck. Oh my god, that's my baby, Caroline.
Hello everyone, what's good, what's poppin'? It's your girl Caroline, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a full, in-depth, detailed, follow me through a lovely journey of how I customize my wigs. So the wig we're working with today is this wig from Megalookshair company. I can't find the packaging it came with, but honestly, packaging, do we really care these days about packaging? I like to just know about the hair. So this is a blonde dyed wig from them. One thing I can say about Megalookshair company, the few times I've worked with them, their colored wigs are really good. Like, they do a really good job at coloring the wigs for you. Because, you know, sometimes when you let the companies color the wigs for you, the color, it can be a little blotchy, but they do the thing. Like, look at that. And they also, I've noticed they also like to add a little glueless band so it can be worn gluelessly. So first thing first, I'm going to be going ahead and bleaching the knots on this unit. For my beginners out there wondering what knots are and why we should bleach them. So this wig, if you can see at the root, I'm not sure if my camera's picking that up, but you see those little black dots that you can see at the root or the base of this wig. Because basically the wig, the way that frontals or laced units are made is that the hair strands are tied into the little grid situation thing going on the lace, and they like are tied into a knot, which is called knots. Bam, those things right there at the bottom. And the good thing about this wig is that the knots are honestly quite small, which is what you want. Sometimes the knots will be really big, which is so annoying and hard to work with. But the reason why I like to bleach my knots is so that when I apply the bleach, so that way when I apply the bleach, it basically turns these dark little knots on the bottom and turns into a blonde light color to kind of make it look like it's disappearing into your scalp, to give it more of a realistic coming out of your scalp effect, you know? So with that said, sit back, relax, grab your tea, grab your coffee. Let's get into this wig install. Okay, so here's my little bleaching bowl. It's literally just a old bowl that I don't use anymore that I've designated to be my bleaching bowl. I have my bleaching tools, got a nice little brush for mixing, got it from Sally's, and I have my little spatula, wooden popsicle stick that I like to use to apply my bleach. I think I would say is you can use anything to apply the bleaching solution. Just make sure it's not metal, because metal does kind of like ruin the whole reaction that's going on. So plastic, wood, a brush, no metal. Bleach that I'm going to be using is this one right here. I've started using these recently. I really like it. It is the Blonde Brilliance Express Line bleach. I'm a fan of this bleach in particular because it's much more gentler. It has like conditioning products in it, so that way like it kind of helps not damage the knots when you're bleaching, because in true transparency, bleaching your knots does kind of affect them because it is a chemical process, and y'all know how chemical processing is with hair. It weakens the bonds in the hair, which weakens the hair. So bleaching it does slightly weaken your knots, which is why you're probably getting shedding over time with your knots. It's more pricey. It's more of a professional grade. You don't have to use this if you're a beginner. Get your regular BW standard powder, and it works just as good. Like I was saying, I will be mixing the bleach with a 20 volume developer, and I'm using 20 volume because it requires, this brand in particular requires, I believe, 15 to 25, nothing more. So I'm just gonna go in with one. For my frontals, I like to use a plastic spoon to measure it, but I like to use about 2 scoops of the bleach powder. You don't need too much. And then what I would say is another tip is when you're pouring in your developer, pour it in slowly, because it's a certain texture and consistency that you want to reach with it. So when you pour too much in, it gets too runny too fast. So pour it in slowly so you can control the consistency. I don't know why I'm using this to mix. I swear I be getting so nervous on camera. Y'all make me nervous. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to add a little bit more. And then just go and thoroughly mix that shit up. Put your wrist into it. Alright, add a little more. Right now, this is still kind of too chalky and thick. Like, it's more like a paste. We're not going for a paste. We're going for, like, I don't know, a nice creamy buttercream frosting or soft serve.
A few moments later.
Alright, and I'm pretty good with this texture. It's nice and spreadable and creamy. It's not chalky and it's not dripping off my little spoon. It's like, I guess, what do I call this? Yeah, like buttercream frosting. Like my brush can swirl easily and simply through it. It's not dragging, like pushing back. So just going with some hairspray just to help me push everything back and make sure it all stays to the back. See, hairline is nice and pushed back, and the reason why we do this is because we don't want to mistakenly get bleach that starts to drip onto your hairline. Like I said, we are just trying to bleach the knots at the bottom, not the actual hair. Got my bleach nice and ready. And the reason why I said you don't want it to be too liquidy or runny is because, like I said earlier, we're just trying to bleach the knots on the bottom, right? So if it's too runny, it's going to start dripping into your hairline, and now you've bleached and colored your actual hairline, which is not what we're going for. And I like to start my way from the back, because like I said, the back has the biggest knots. So I probably need like a longer processing time. But yeah, I'm just going to go in and start, applying the bleach. Adding light pressure, just enough to push it through and cover those knots in the bottom, but not too much where I'm now bleaching the hair. It's kind of like you're buttering your toast. Now if you're a beginner, don't be cocky and think you got it. It's okay, take a moment, sometimes pause, flip the hair to see how much pressure you're applying. They haven't pushed too much. I don't know if y'all can see, but as you can see back here, those knots are fully saturated. Up here, the knots are still peeking through a little bit. Can you see? You see how you can't even see the knots because it's all covered up with bleach right there? That's correct. Up here, it's still sitting on top of it, so I know I'm going to go back in and put a little more pressure. It's really a balancing act between making sure you're pushing the bleach further enough to cover the knots, but not pushing it too much where you're over bleaching the hair, right? So that's why how thick your bleach powder is or whatever is very important. As you can see, the knots are covered. You can't see them at all. Right here, I need to push more because you can still see the knots a little bit. But with practice and just continuously doing it, you kind of start to learn by muscle memory how much pressure you need. And that's why I like this bleach a lot, because it doesn't like leak that much. I don't know if that makes sense. Something about this bleach is it's just elite. If you have the money to invest in this brand, go ahead, y'all, because it's good. I'm just gonna peek in the front to see if I need to push in some more. Since the knots are very small in the front, I'm trying not to push too much on the front, because since they're very small, they're going to get covered easily, and just kind of focus on pushing back here. Okay, let me stop pushing before I mess around and overbleach the knot. I go ahead and put the foil paper in. And foil paper kind of just helps, add heat, which helps it react faster. This part is so nerve-wracking. I try my hardest to not push the bleach any more further than I've pushed it. Alright, make sure I got everything all around. And then I'm just going to put this tissue paper in the middle, kind of just help it hold its shape better. And I like to let it process flipped this way, so that way, gravity doesn't do its thing and get the hair and get the bleach to start dripping down into the hairline. So for me, I never give like a specific time on how long I like to let the hair process, because every wig is different, the hair takes different. But I just always say set a 10-minute timer and do that and check on it in intervals. And once you see it go from like a dark color to a certain light blonde, then you can go ahead and wash it. Cover that up. Not apply too much pressure because I don't want to push anything. Just place it on there. And Alexa, set a 15-minute timer. All right, y'all, this It's literally only been 15 minutes and the knots have definitely, especially in the back, you can see have lightened a lot. I think I want to wait just a little bit longer. Just see, if you're kind of nervous, I would suggest washing it off now that you see the color lighten. But I'm really trying to get that visible scalp type of look, so I'm gonna let it get just a little bit lighter. I'm gonna wait 5 more minutes and then I'm gonna wash it out. Just give it a little more time. Basically, I'm gonna go ahead and wash this out now. I'm not trying to risk the hair starting to shed on me.
A few moments later.
So you can see the knots are very much blonde and no longer black. I would say the hair on this processed very fast, a lot faster than typically I expected. Thank goodness I put a timer and I do this in intervals. To wash, I'm using this so-called Silk Elements Neutralizing Shampoo. I like it because it's a neutralizing shampoo, so that way it's gonna help stop all the processing. And you see how like it automatically turned pink? Once it like starts to like turn white as you're washing it, that's how you know that all the chemical reaction stuff is done. Kind of like when you used to relax your hair, you know, in the shampoo they'd give you, they tell you to keep washing it until like it starts to foam white. So yeah, just keep washing it through so I know everything is nice and clear. Make sure I'm washing it out of the hair as well, because I'm not trying to start bleaching the hair mistakenly. Okay, so you can see the foam is finally white. That means I've washed out all the bleach completely. That took a couple of pushes and rinses. Now when you part the hairs, you can see it looks more blonde, more like it's going into your scalp. It looks like I'm parting actual scalp. A lot better than how it looked when I did not bleach the knots. Alright, now to tone my knots. Toning the knots meaning just kind of just neutralize them a little bit, because they kind of have an orange yellow tone, as you can see, going on. So I'm going to be using a mixture of this yellow and purple shampoo. I like to use both because the blue shampoo helps to cancel out the orange tones, and then the purple is for the yellow tones. I am a bit nervous on using this toning shampoo because I don't want it to like end up toning the highlights in the hair. So I'm going to try to just really focus it mainly on, you know, the lace as much as possible. I'm not going to let it sit on the hair too long because I don't want to start, you know, mistakenly dyeing the actual hair blue. Because sometimes when you leave purple shampoo on too long, you can overtone your hair, and if you have blonde hair, it will turn a purplish bluish hint. Scrub it in like so. I guess I'm just going to scrub it into the hair itself, so that way if the hair ends up toning, it's gonna at least be one tone color and not having random weird tones going on. So I'm just gonna massage the rest of the shampoo into the rest of the hair. Okay, and finally I'm just going to put conditioner in the hair and let it sit for probably like what, 30-ish minutes, as long as I can sit before I go to bed. And I just like to put conditioner, you know, just to help keep the hair soft and bouncy and shine. Give her the full hairdresser treatment. Alright, it's been, honestly, it's been like a long time. I'm gonna just go ahead, probably like 2-3 hours, wash this out. So the next step is plucking the hairline. Here is a look at how the hairline looks like out of the box. I would say it's slightly pre-plucked. You see, like it has a little thinning out in here to mimic a realistic hairline, and they did a good decent job. Like if you're a beginner, you don't like plucking, you can go ahead and just install this wig just like this. But I like to get my wigs a bit more plucked. I like them more thinned out. I like to pluck my wigs when they're dry. You can pluck when the wig is wet, but I feel like when it's wet, the knots just come out too easily and it gets like just uncontrollably for me. So I'm just gonna use this little makeshift hair dryer hood that I got from Amazon. where you just like put it over your wig and you attach your regular blow dryer. And you can just attach, you know, your regular blow dryer to the nozzle part. So that way it's gonna help me just dry the hairline a bit so I can pluck the hair. Going in with my nice and hot comb, 500 degrees Fahrenheit to be exact. Just help me really push back that hairline. For plucking, it's really important that you push back the hairline so you can see the knots. They're standing straight. And you can really make sure you see what you're doing. To pluck, I only use these tweezers. These are the Revlon Men Diamond Series slant tip tweezer. It has a slant tip, and when I pluck, I like to pluck with the tip. Honestly, it depends, but I try to like pluck with the tip pointing forward. If it's very like specific type of knot, I will use the pointy side to really get that stubborn knot, you know? But the type of tweezer you use does matter. I've realized the cheap tweezers just don't tweeze as well. Sometimes your tweezer can be too sharp and you end up plucking a hole in it. So try out different tweezers to figure out the ones that work the best for you. That's what works best for me. What I'm doing right now is I'm just parting out the pre-plucked part of the hairline. Like y'all see how like it's like thinned out right here? I'm plucking where it's like starts to get a little bit thicker. I'm gonna start plucking behind that. Even if your hairline doesn't come as pre-plucked as this wig, I still always pluck behind a few rows. This just kind of helps prevent me from over plucking in the front, and it just looks a lot more natural. And it helps me as well if I want to do baby hairs. I still have some hairs to play with because I'm always over plucking down here. And y'all can see how like the hairline's like already like, you know, it's like hair, no hair, hair, no hair, hair, no hair. That's what you're trying to do basically. You're just trying to pluck in between the hairlines and create like little hairline gappings, if that makes sense. Just thinning out the hairlines going down this way. Never plucking the same spot, and you're trying to pull the hair out from the root. So like, let me just start plucking, I guess. Right, so I'm grabbing the hair from the root. I drag back like you just saw, and then I just skip a little space and I pluck next to that skip space and just work my way down. Mess it up. And I'm grabbing, I don't know how many hairs I'm grabbing. It's probably like, I don't know, 3 to 4. Try to not make big old tooth gaps, you feel me? But do make sure you're pulling from the root, which is why I also keep my hand up here to pull it back like a ponytail, so that way it's creating tension in the knots would definitely come out from the root this way. And now I'm gonna go a little bit higher up. I'm not plucking the same place. And I'm not also creating the gaps in the same area. It's like kind of off-centered, you know? But I'm trying to like now thin out a little bit back in the hairline. The knots on this unit come out really easy. Sometimes if you have like really strong, stubborn knots, pulling it out can cause some holes, so it's probably not even you, it's probably just the wig. But I also was thinking, if it has stronger knots, doesn't that mean that it's less likely to shed because the knots are stronger, you know? So maybe it's kind of good to have strong knots in your wig when you think about longevity. Just thought I had. I feel like that's pretty good for me. I've been trying to like not over pluck my wigs these days because I feel like I've been going too ham, and I don't know. Because the thing with plucking the wig before is that you don't have to do it to perfection. You can definitely pluck a little bit, and then once you install the wig, you're like, I want a more thinned out hairline. You can still go ahead and pluck more when you install the wig. So that's why, you know, less is more sometimes. Okay, that's enough. I feel like I'm creeping on the edge of over plucking. And then once I've Done that. Push the front back up. Ooh, ooh, ah. And now I'm just gonna very lightly, like barely anything, go down the line and pluck a little bit in the front, like literally barely anything. Ah, I plucked a little bit too much right there. I fear I must have overplucked just a little bit right here on the side, but I'm just gonna hope that the hair, when it dries fully, it's gonna get thicker and that overplucking won't be that noticeable. But I mean, it's still giving a scalp though. You know, people, we have thin hairlines. It's natural. She's realistic, okay? Because I got a couple bald patches in my real hairline. So that's realistic right there. And now we're going to go ahead and pluck the other side. Plucked on both sides, and I'm gonna let the hair finish air drying overnight because it didn't dry all the way because it was mainly the roots that dried. And we will be installing this wig tomorrow. I'm excited. I see her potential.
Tomorrow.
All right, next day. Hi, hello. Let's install this wig. So I've already tried to like make on Pinterest a little mood board because whenever I'm doing my hairstyles, it really helps me to have some inspiration so I can know, you know, what I'm looking towards. And I saw this. Y'all see that? Can you see? You see the little side part, the light waves. I was like, ooh, I'm definitely gonna do this. Soft baby hairs. Something like this. You see that? You feel the nerd. That's the vibe I wanna go for. Cause I've just been really obsessed with curls, like body wave curls these days. I'm trying to get better at curling my hair. The first thing I wanna do before I start to install it is I'm going to change this from a middle part to a side part. I said this in my last detailed video. I like doing my side parts on the mannequin head, or just parting the wig on your mannequin head is a lot more easier for those of you who are not great parters like I know I am. So this way I can see, like, you know, everything. And I'm just gonna do a rough part on my head real quick so that way I can finish it off in the mannequin. Usually I use mousse to do this part because mousse will help me set the shape. But I don't have any more mousse right now, so I'm just using my water as my molder. It's not the best, but use what you got. Honestly, I suggest if you're trying to like get that curved hairline too, just literally doing your mannequin head, get a photo in front of you like I'm doing right now, and just try your best to mimic that shape. I guess another tip too, when I'm trying to get that perfect curved side part look, I brush all the hair forward like I would if I'm gonna do a side swoop, right? Like if I was to swoop the hair, like, you know, like a little swoop over moment. And I brush it forward and I just try to like carve out a bit of like a curved part with the hair brushed forward. Like a C, you know? Like this is kind of like roughly this shape I'm going for. You see how like it's curved? You see that like goes like shoop, like a, you know, a curved, and pushing it forward like this really helps me see the shape I'm going for. And then now I'm just trying to part and clean out the back. There you go. That's the shape, that's the part. Everything molded out. I'm gonna go back in with this mold real quick and put that over the hair. Okay, lastly, I'm just gonna press the hairline out. Since it's already on the mannequin head, it's just to save me from burning myself, because I always burn myself. I'm making sure I'm really pressing down and getting all the way through the lace, not just the top. If I didn't mold it with the water and stuff earlier, I'll be going in section by section to make sure it's all flat. But since I already molded it, I don't have to do that. Boom, there you go. Woo! On the bright side, it looks so cute. Now I'm gonna prep my head for the wig. I have braids. You can't really tell, but there's braids under there. And I'm just gonna put my wig cap on, push it back, because the wig cap is just to protect the braids from getting caught in the clip. I'm gonna get some edge control and just clean up my hairline. Push all these little flyaways back. Y'all see all these little extra steps? That's the attention to detail I'm talking about. But if you keep asking yourself why your wig installs are not coming out as bomb as you know they could, that's because, babe, you're not doing all the extra steps. You're not paying attention to that detail. Okay. Push it all back again. There we go. I like to make sure I push it back further enough because I don't want it to be peeking under my, my lace and whatnot. Okay, last step. Last prep step before I finally put this wig on, and that is to tint my lace. I'm in with my foundation. This is my Maybelline Matte Poreless Fit Me Foundation shade 365. I'm just gonna use that to tint the lace. So that way, it blends better in with me. So just buff that in. You know what's an interesting question I got is, what do I do with the lace in the back of my wigs? And I never thought about showing you guys what I do to the back because I'm just, in my mind, it's kind of like I thought we all kind of knew, but you can't assume everything, not everything is beginner level friendly in your mind. So what I do with the back lace, if it's just like a regular frontal or closure where there's no actual like lace, because there's tracks on this back piece of lace. I don't know why they put lace in the back like there's actual not tracks or whatever, but honestly, y'all, all I do, I just cut it off. Like, I just cut it. That's it. And as far as like the straps and stuff, I do clip them on because it makes the wig like fit round around my head. This unit also has what's it called? Has a headband, elastic band installed in the back, which helps you wear it gluelessly. If it doesn't fit you right off when you put it on, you need it tighter. What I would do is I would cut it and then tie it like in the knot, like the back of my head, for it to fit me better. Let's put it on. Alright. Okay. Yay. I finally have the wig on my head 10 years later. But let me put my headphones in because I'm going to be watching Desperate Housewives while I do this, because that's what calms me in stressful times. Stressful times meaning this wig install. I'm also simultaneously filming a TikTok while I do this, y'all. So I'm not looking directly at y'all. I apologize. So, if you're wondering how to properly cut off the lace around your ears, or just how to like properly cut your lace off, I do have a detailed video out on that. But I just like to, part the lace around my ears and cut. Ooh. Looks like I'm cutting a little bit too much. Okay, see that? Perfect fit all around. Love that. Ooh. To spray my lace down, I'm gonna be using this bedhead hairspray. This is like literally just a regular hairspray, but the hold on it is really good and it helps me stick down my lace. It's a temporary hold, so it's not a glue. It's just a hairspray. It comes off with water. I've been installing my wig a little bit differently than how I've been doing it. Before, I would like spray under the lace and then put on the product, but these guys I've kind of like, I like pre-cutting the lace and then spraying it down. Let me show you what I mean. Actually, I'm just gonna do one big section. Like I was saying, I like to just, right, cut off the lace and make sure you're cutting an up and down motion. Cut it off. And I like to cut off as much lace as possible. And then what I do is spray under, get even spray going. Make sure you use your finger as well to make sure it's even. And I make sure I'm getting everywhere that I know the spray is gonna go on. For the side, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the sideburn hair. Blow dryer and just push everything down. And it's on a hot setting. Hot setting, low heat. Low power. And I just push it all in with my rat tail comb and just push down all that lace. See if I can do that for this. So I just go in again, cut off as much lace as possible, making sure I'm cutting an up and down jagged motion to get a raw cut on the lace, because it just lays better that way. And this time I'm gonna spray over because I can't, lift my lace like I did earlier. I'm just gonna spray over the lace like so, making sure I'm tapping that product in. And then get my blow dryer and just lay it all down. See? It's melting and disappearing into the hairline. That's what we're here for. Got lace laid, and now I'm gonna put this last band on here just to hold everything down before I swoop the baby hairs, just to give the lace a moment to sit and simmer. But I'm gonna go ahead and just slant cut these sideburns off while they're just chilling. All right, now it's been a minute. Lace has been sitting. I just really like this new. All right, now let's do some baby hairs. So I've already kind of have them semi-parted out like this. I'm using this little tiny mini flat iron from Amazon. And I think I want to curl it inward. I feel like the inward curl works better. Make sure you got a nice tight curl going. Curl in a diagonal jagged motion. Now to lay the baby hairs, I'm using my Eco Styler gel. elastic band back on. Now let's get to styling. I kind of want to keep semi-long layers. I'm going to use this razor comb that I got from the beauty supply store to help me cut the layers. Just going to drag it down like a, you know, slanted angle. Okay, there we go. I've got some nice shaggy layers. I'm gonna spray this primer through it because it's like a heat protectant as well, especially since it's blonde hair. Well, it has blonde hair in it. I know it's gonna be a little dry and it's gonna need some heat protector. Okay, so I'm gonna be curling my hair with my Remington 1-inch, I think it's like anti-static plate flat iron. I got this from Walmart years ago for like $20. This is my most, honestly, if you're a beginner, you're looking for a good flat iron, this one, it's affordable and it does the job. So now flat iron curls, I'm gonna try my best to explain it for y'all. I clamp it and I flip it like this and kind of just work my way down. This will probably just make more sense if you kind of just mimic what I'm doing visually. And I just keep like slowly opening the flat iron to feed the hair through. And then I hold the curls in my hand like this to let it cool. Always let your curls cool before dropping. That's why some people do pin curls, because pin curling, we're just curling the pinning the curl and letting it hold its shape first before you drop it really helps it like last longer and helps the curl like have more of a shape. For the right side, I just keep both sides. I'm just trying to imagine I'm twisting it to the back, right? The back, not the front, the back. So now for this side, clamp it, twist it to the back, and then just keep working my way down. Sometimes the hair will easily slide, or I have to, like, you know, gently open and close it and drag it down. All right, now let's see what we are working with here. There's always that one curl that you have to recurl. Okay, I kind of want it, so I just went ahead and just brushed the front towards my face because I want the curls to come into my face like this. Now I'm gonna do is just kind of like finish everything off. There's a lot of flyaways, but honestly that's to be expected. Added some wax onto the top of the hair, and now I'm gonna use this little hard brush situation and just smoothing all the flyaways just to clean up the look. I'm also using the brush to like brush through the hair a little bit just to, like, you know, relax any frizzy parts. But I'm not brushing it all the way to the end, so that way it doesn't lose its shape. Finally, I'm gonna go in with this big old pink holding spray. I love this spray because, like, it adds like a light hold to the hair, and it's like the original pink, you know, oil sheen. So it helps add a little bit of shine as well to everything. I'm just gonna put some up here so it can keep its little curl shape. Wow. Here we are, finished look. This is so cute. I'm loving it, I'm feeling it. Are y'all? Guess who forgot to record a proper outro? This guy. But it's only because, y'all, by the time I was done installing this wig, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, like always, and I was tired, I was delusional, but I do look good. Like, you see this hair? This look was giving. I love the curls. All the extra work and the little steps I put into this customization really pulled off, because look at this. You see it, you see her. But we're finally done. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. And of course, I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Duh. Sorry. It's also very late as I'm editing this video. I just keep doing things late at night. I'm a night owl. What can I say? But yeah, I hope to see you guys in another one. And thank you so much for watching. Yes, this video is quite long, but that's really the whole point of these start to finish detailed tutorials, to show you how much work you have to put into some of your units to get them to look, you know, straight out of the scalp. If you did make it all the way to the end, you are a real one, and your wig installs are gonna be more slayed because you stuck to the end, because you are committed to the game, just like me. But okay, guys, I will see you guys in another one. Like, comment, and subscribe. Say hi to your mom, your dads, you know, greet the family for me. And peace out, Girl Scouts. Goodbye. Oh, this hair looks so good. I can't get over it. But yeah, goodbye, guys.